Certainly. Ms. Gray?
Here.
Mr. Moore?
Here.
Ms. Reclue?
Present.
Mr. Shiverdecker?
Here.
Mr. Stone?
Present.
Mr. Vaughn?
Present.
Mr. West? And Mr. Shiland.
Present.
7 council members present, 1 absent.
Very good. We'll rise and speak. Pastor Bruce Williamson is with us this evening, and he'll lead us in the invocation.
Heavenly Father, we're grateful that you blessed us with a wonderful late fall, early winter day, for the sure presence that you bring to our community and all of our lives in having such a wonderful place to live and work and raise our families. With that praise, I want to be careful to remember the folks tonight in Red Bridge, California. Another mass shooting there today. And I'm grateful that you spared the elementary kids whose building was riddled. None of those were hurt, and I'm thankful. I also want to thank you for the police officer who intervened, put his life right directly in harm's way to protect them and the community and bring that scene to a close. It could be our community or any community in America. And our calling as Christian believers is to pray for our neighbors, love them and encourage them, and we must be faithful in that calling. I want to pray for this session tonight for our mayor and council persons and the many behind me who are here to participate. And I pray, Lord, for all business that's done, discussions that are held, and decisions that are made, that they be pleasing to you. I ask you, Lord, to continue to bless those that are connected to the city family, but my list is not exhaustive. I do want to remember by name Mayor Benton, Chief Myers, Mr. Chiland, Mr. and Mrs. Reclue, Gabriel Polston, Mr. Moore, and anyone else, Lord, add to this list as you see fit that needs a touch from God. Bless our lives and bless this season. Help us to be more thankful and more grateful and less judgmental and complaintive. We have a wonderful life in this nation, even with our problems. Guide and direct us and find us faithful. We pray in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor. Appreciate you. At the beginning of each council meeting, we set a time aside for visitors or who are not already on the agenda that would like to address the council about a concern within the city to do that. So, and all we do is ask that you give us your name and address and limit your comments to 5 minutes, of which the city clerk will time that for you. So at this time, I invite anyone that's present who would like to visit with the council over a concern, please come forward. Yes, sir. Good evening. Welcome.
My name is John Perry. I'm 1200 South Morris, Mexico, Missouri. We're asking for permission to do a Cowboy Christmas parade and auction. I've spoken with Chief of Police. I'm going to meet with him on Friday about getting a different route because he didn't approve the one. This got thrown on me about an hour and a half ago, so I don't even have the date in my mind fresh. I mean, Joey Owen took it on, and he called me and said, I can't make it, you're going to have to go, and I was the other side of Moberly at 5 o'clock when he called me. So,
we won't tell the chief about that, okay?
Yeah.
No, excuse me.
I want to say it was the second Saturday. It's going to be at the 54 Country building. They're donating the building. We just get stuff donated. You know, we'll have an auction and a dinner and a parade of horses. I did this 13 years in Mexico. We got up to around 200 horses. I don't expect that to start out, but I don't know how Callaway County is with horse people. So it was, you know, it was asked for me to do it, and I told them I'd do it. I would help them do it. That's how it was put.
We discussed this a little bit in-house, and I think one reason it wasn't just put on the agenda for approval is because we we didn't think the route was very good. The proposed route was starting at 54 Country, coming down F into town.
I understand,
And
I
then,
spoke with Chief.
and then up Business 54. And we just didn't think being on the main roads of the community for that extended period of time was very safe for them or anybody that wanted to see. So, you know, if you can work with Steve Myers and come up with a different route that is acceptable to all, I don't think we would have any objection.
Okay, like I said, I'm gonna meet with him. Joey, evidently, when I guess he talked with Chief, he's planning a 2-hour thing. We have to be done, cleaned up and gone by 5 o'clock. I'm thinking 30, 45 minutes is gonna be max. So, I mean, I'm sure we can, and we don't care where we go. We just so we can do it to raise, it was brought to my attention that they wanted to do it because all the toys got stolen from
Yes.
an organization. That's the reason it was wanted to be done, and, you know, I told them I've done it. I quit doing it in Mexico, but I told them I would help them get this one going, so.
Okay. So it'll be something that draws people in to donate money or toys or things
And,
to
Yeah,
help us with that.
to ride in the parade, you bring a toy and a canned good, which will be donated to
Yes.
an organization, and then also we'll have an auction. I don't know what to expect, it's been this late in the year, about how much money will get gathered up this time, but, you know, in Mexico, it was average of $2,000 to $5,000 a year that we brought in from the auction and donations for the, organization.
But you're talking about an actual parade,
A parade.
like we have our Christmas parade. You're
Yeah, it'll be just, in Mexico, we allowed anybody that wanted to get in it, you know, we'd like for it to be Western themed, but,
Sure.
you know, we don't care. We're just there to make the money for them, we don't care who comes and who does what.
If someone would like to make a motion to approve it based on
I'll make it,
approval of the
I'll make
chief,
that motion.
Down here.
then we can move forward on the request. So do I have a motion and a second there?
Yes.
Thank you, okay. Any further discussion or questions of Mr. Perry? Before we call the question?
Have you given any thought to just being a part of the Christmas parade that we do here in town?
In Mexico, we did join the Christmas parade. You know, it was better for the police department as well as the community. They only come out once. Joey supposed, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
This, like I said, this got thrown on me at 5 o'clock.
I'm just thinking about the crowds and the people that come to
Yeah.
watch and see it. And, you know, horses are fun to look at and see.
Oh,
and
In the past, we've had trouble if we, like, our auction and dinner will be, it's a free dinner, you know, that's to get people come to the auction. It's gonna be at 54 Country. If we don't start and end there with the parade, the people, when they load their horse up, are gonna go home. They're not gonna travel somewhere else for the auction. We tried that in Mexico and it just don't work.
Didn't work. Okay.
But, I mean, I don't know when your Christmas parade is.
First Saturday
In
in
December.
December.
I mean, I'm fine with that, but I don't know about the building, if we can get the building that day. You know, that was Joey's deal. But I will find out if we can do it that day. I'd be more than happy to do it all together.
Well, good. So, we have a motion on the floor to
Yeah.
approve this request based on approval of the chief.
Yeah.
All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying yes.
Yes.
All those opposed, no. Okay, sir, so it's in your ballpark. If your organization can get with the chief and get an approval route, that's great. You can have it the day you want it. Otherwise, if you do go another route, that's fine too.
Okay.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, very good, thank you. Next on the list is our Human Rights Commission, I believe is with us this evening. They have some good news for us.
Yes, I do. That's cool. Yeah. That's pretty good. Wow. get the picture. You get there. That's a girl. Look at that.
Our human, for those of you who don't
Microphone.
know, our Human Rights Commission was recognized by the state of Missouri as outstanding commission for their dedicated work this past year. We're very proud and appreciative of your dedication and all your hard work. So again, thank you for presenting this to the city.
Wonderful.
We are.
We'll find some.
Okay, great. Yeah, it's always nice when you have a volunteer group that can be recognized for all their hard work. So great. Okay, we'll move on to, we do not have a consent agenda tonight, so we'll bypass that. Looks like we don't have any unfinished business, new business. Mr. Patrick Bono is with us this evening from Myrma.
Lots of places.
And gosh, we're just always glad to see you, Patrick,
Thank you.
and particularly when you bring a check with you.
An
It's
award.
not quite a check yet, but it will be.
Things to hang up.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council and administration. My name is Patrick Bono, the Loss Control Director for MIRMA, which is the Missouri Intergovernmental Risk Management Association. That is a group which is owned by the city of Fulton as a member, and currently we are at 80 cities, which I think for the last 6 years that I've been here, that is sequentially every time I have been here, that is a new high number for us. So thank you for being obviously a strong member within that regard. We do workers' compensation, general liability, you name it, flood, earthquake, all of the coverages that a Missouri municipality might need, even bonding for court, money handlers, things like that. And so we are not unlike you in terms of we like to not spend money. We like to keep the money within the association. We don't want to spend it on claims and high liability things. We don't want people getting hurt. We don't want to crash into things. So one of the things the association has done is we have created a grant program. And Fulton, I think this is actually a record, both in the number of items applied for and awarded, and really in the amount awarded to one city. There are, within this grant program, the city of Fulton has been awarded 8 different things, and I will pull those up. I know they're on my phone here somewhere.
The council has a list in front of them.
They do, okay, good. Well, I'll make this shorter then.
There's a list there.
In total, it's $21,664. And I would be more than happy to answer any questions as to how these things are elements of our grant program. These are pretty typical items that we would pay for to help lower the liability of cities. One of the newer things you can see down toward the bottom of the list is MUTCD work zone barricading, which is kind of an interesting subject in and of itself. The city actually made their own work zone barricading equipment. So with that $500 expenditure, they are getting equipment that otherwise on the street may have cost, I don't know, maybe even 10 times that. So with the city folks spending a little bit of time, maybe in the winter, last winter, working on this, they were able to leverage the grant program to buy some good quality stuff that you probably are already seeing on the street today. So MUTCD is the Manual of Uniform Traffic Control Devices, which is a giant manual that tells engineering departments and street departments how things on the street should be made so they don't injure us when we crash into them. So that's kind of a short example of that one. But all in all, these subjects and these items are very helpful to lowering your liability. I see you have a sewer camera. Those are very expensive, but obviously the cities that we have in the association that use sewer cameras to find infiltration or other problem areas within sewer lines, they're very beneficial, and they help lower liability as well. So
The way this grant works, it's actually a reimbursement grant. We will go out and buy this equipment, these supplies per hour bidding requirements. And then once we have a paid bill, we submit the paid bill to MIRMA, and they cut us a check for not to exceed the amount listed on the grant form for each of the items.
Do you have something in mind that you're gonna apply this grant to?
Well, we're going to apply the grant money to the items that are listed on the sheet. So, like, just to kind of use the top one as an example, we requested or said there was going to be a $10,000 sewer camera. They said they'll pay 75%, so they'll pay $7,500. Once we go out and buy our sewer camera, if it goes over $10,000, they'll give us $7,500. If we buy one for $8,000, since they're giving us 75%, they'll give us $6,000. Okay?
Gotcha.
And now it's up to us to spend it and provide the adequate documentation to get the reimbursement. Since some of these supplies have already been purchased, the trenching and shoring there near the bottom, we've actually had that for several months. So they're going to do a reimbursement on that. I know I signed off on the work truck zone lights. I know we've had a couple discussions on the sewer camera. The other items we haven't really talked too much about yet.
What's the second one?
The
AED
Yeah.
defibrillator for the power plant.
Oh, okay.
Any other questions?
You're so damn professional.
I try.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. I'll present this to you.
Come back again. You don't always have to bring, oh, gosh.
Yeah, all right.
Well, come back next
You want me to come down?
Now you want me to come back?
Yeah, where's Darren? Or somebody needs to take a picture so
Yeah.
that Patrick can prove to everybody who's here.
Thank you, Patrick.
We know he's here.
Timestamp.
Yeah, we know he's here.
Warning lights
Yeah, there you go, get those two.
when they're stopped.
Get Kathy or Les or something, take a picture of this.
All right. Yeah.
Somebody, or Darren if he's coming in. You coming?
Yeah, okay. This is
Well,
Yes, we need some good ones.
No, it's
just to help me, guys.
wait a minute.
Smile.
This is like when
Look at the camera. Look at
workers are up high. and they
Hold on,
fall
oh, Leroy, oh, Leroy. Hold up a
They
second.
slip off the top.
Yeah, okay, that's a good thing.
Show those dimples.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there you
In fact, all of these are
He's got them too.
good items.
Yeah.
The only thing, hydraulic hammer, I don't see where, I mean, I know what it is.
Non-hiding.
It's like a chip.
I don't want to be seen.
Sit up big and proud.
Yeah.
It's your birthday, so.
I was kind of
Yeah, it is.
Have a nice Thanksgiving. Yeah.
for a grant, but I guess they.
Well, they get lots of these, it's awesome. Now, do we have to match that?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, very good. Well, I see the next item on the list is Kyle Brimmer, and I don't think he's got anything to present to us.
You didn't bring a plaque?
Plaque or some
See how
check
long
or
I can
something.
be up here. Somebody might have to give me the hook. Business 54 project. Business,
Too happy.
Courtney, settle down. I'll keep it as quick as I. Business 54 project I'm up here to talk about this round. I'm very excited about this project, if you can't tell. I think this is a project that really
help, along with the 4th Street project, change the way our main roads through town look, and the way the city of Fulton presents itself to not only its citizens, but everybody coming into Fulton and visiting us. So the state of Missouri, they have scheduled for next year to redo their sections of Business 54. Their sections of Business 54 are from the roundabout down here south and from Ovid Bell Press north. The middle piece, the city of Fulton owns. So we've worked with the state of Missouri, MoDOT, to include our middle section in this project. The state section is basically a mill and overlay, so a new looking road with ADA sidewalk improvements. So where the sidewalks right now on MoDOT sections don't meet ADA, even if it looks new, if it does not meet ADA, they are tearing it out, and they're going to put ADA compliant sidewalks in. So like I said, it could be a sidewalk that was done 5 years ago. The concrete looks good, but if the cross slope is too much for a wheelchair, then it gets ripped out and gets replaced. Our section is less on the sidewalk, more on the road. So it's road improvements, a new roadway, so new asphalt, a bunch of curb and gutter, almost all new curb and gutter, where we basically don't have curb and gutter right now, and new approaches to a bunch of businesses and homes along that section, and we are doing sidewalks at the handicap ramp level for the most part. So, we are doing less sidewalks, more roadway, curb and gutter, and approaches, some stormwater in it. So we're kind of setting ourselves up. Our engineering staff, Steve Goring in particular, has been working on this project extensively, and is trying to set ourselves up to, if we want to do the straight sections at some point of sidewalk, we are set up to do that, and we're set up to do it to meet ADA compliance at that point. We love to do everything at once, but $800,000, if you look further back in the packet, and we'll get to it later on in the meeting, but we're basically committing about $800,000 to this project. We have to write MoDOT a check, I believe, this year, because we're taking advantage of this year's overlay funds, and we're combining that with stormwater dollar funds. So tax dollars, the new tax, stormwater tax, is being utilized to fund probably about half of this, and so that's covering the curb and gutter and the stormwater improvements, a little bit of stormwater improvements, that's pipe improvements that's going on. So it's one great part about this project is along, we'll call it from St. Louis, where the traffic light is, Bluff and St. Louis, going north all the way through to Ovid Bell. There's a lot of overhead electric and communication lines. So AT&T, Charter, we've done a lot of pre-planning. Daryl and I have met with the different utility companies multiple times, and they are teaming up with us, much like the 4th Street project, to take all the utilities and put them underground. So, just drive up there, tomorrow drive up there, take a look at it. Imagine it with all that underground and what it could look like. Imagine it with new curb and gutter running all the way through it, some new approaches, some new sidewalk ramps. I know that the straight sections of sidewalk will have to wait a little bit, but it's going to give us a facelift, guys. It really is. So I'm excited about it. The advantage that we have, the city of Fulton, You know, we've got utilities under our roof. We can make partnerships like this with other utilities a lot easier than others can, and we've got the ability in-house to do a lot of this work. So the street department, you'll see, we'll start doing some stormwater work on inlets. You'll start seeing that activity. Utilities have already got underway a little bit. You may have noticed last week that we had a road closure on Bluff Street. Utilities, the water department was crossing Ninth Street. When they crossed Ninth Street, they didn't just put a water line in. They put conduit in to serve other utilities, even utilities that aren't ours. So, you know, there's a lot of integration going on with this project. And anyways, any questions?
I have one.
The extra approaches.
Yeah, good point, Bill. I mentioned approaches. In that $800,000 that I mentioned earlier, that was an estimate that was done before we took a look at doing every, I'll say every single approach, but I'm going to say most approaches. There are a few approaches. When I say approaches, it's entrances into businesses or homes. So there are some there are a couple that are new that we can work with those, but for the most part, we're going to replace all the approaches that we can to set ourselves up for, one, it'll look better, and two, if we do the straight sections of sidewalk, it'll set ourselves up for ADA compliance as well.
Estimated cost of doing all of them versus what you thought?
Versus what I thought, it'd be an adder of about $40,000 to $50,000 on top of that. So, you know, in the competitive bidding world, hopefully throwing our project on the state's project, maybe it'll be absorbed in the bid. But I did tell Bill that I think that might add a little bit of cost to
We
it.
just kind of want to let you guys know that the project had grown a bit and what was going to be done, and we didn't want to do a half a job, and we didn't want to get the project done and behind us and drive it and say, boy, that approach looks like heck. Why didn't we fix it? So we drove it a couple times and looked at them. Like you said, there's a couple approaches that we're going to leave, but for the most part, it's going to be brand new, everything between the sidewalks.
I have a question.
Mary?
If a homeowner that lives along there would want their sidewalk done at that time, you're not going to touch those? I mean, you know, where they'll pay for half of, in other words, on the straight stretches, you're not going to, if at all. If a homeowner says, hey, I'd like to have.
Well, there is a 50-50 item
Right.
in the budget. You know, it's a limited amount that we have, but
Right.
I'm assuming first come, first serve, and depending on, you know, if it's good for them and it's good for the city and
Then you're
it
not
works
going
out,
to
then
do
we
it.
could.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
But with the approaches and the handicap ramps for the ones that are under our control, all of those will be touched, right?
I'm going to
So
say
from-
90% of those, Jeff.
Why,
Just because
why
there
not
are.
100%?
Well, there are a couple, like the dollar store up there,
Oh, yeah.
that has just been put in.
Dollar Tree.
You know, the Dollar Tree, sorry, that's just been put in. If it's brand new and it already meets compliance,
Right.
That's what I'm
There's-
saying.
yeah.
Family Dollar.
Meeting compliance.
yes,
So every ramp, every approach from stem to stern, we're going to make sure meets ADA requirements, right?
yes.
Okay.
Wonderful.
When are you gonna cover up there on, Business 54, where you guys just dug up and went right across the street?
Oh, when are we going to asphalt that?
Yeah,
Tomorrow.
okay,
So, the street will be closed up there for a portion of time.
okay.
Don't drive through our cones.
I'm trying to-
Just Jenny, I'd just like to, maybe you can include, next summer, between now and the end of next summer, there's gonna be several traffic issues, and we just hope that the citizens are patient and obey the traffic control signals and devices to keep them safe and to keep all the employees working on the project safe.
Maybe we could set up, like, if something's gonna be closed, give me advance notice, try to put
Little thing in the paper. That'd be good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, good idea.
It's a great
Thank
idea.
you.
Yeah, no.
Okay, yeah, no, I
Yeah,
appreciate
we'll
it.
see them all down
Okay, got that one? You want to talk about the draining the inner ditch, since you drew the short straw?
Since I'm up here.
While you're here.
Wastewater treatment plants, is what Bill's referring to. Starting on was it the 24th?
Friday after Thanksgiving.
Friday after Thanksgiving, the contractor will be doing some, I don't know if you all have been down there, but there's an inner and an outer ditch, and they're gonna have to drain those. And then the material that are that's in those ditches is gonna have to be pushed to the sides and sucked out and taken somewhere. And that somewhere is gonna be at the wastewater treatment plant itself, kind of along in the drying, but there's some old drying beds that it's gonna be placed to let it dry out.
Yeah.
And there's also the bank of the lagoon, the big holding pond there. What can't go in the drying beds will go on the bank of the lagoon. Now with that, this is the Friday, he's gonna start the Friday after Thanksgiving, there's probably going to be an odor. So keep that in mind.
When we get calls.
On the phone.
He has a month. Right. He has a month to complete that work, and we've discussed with him multiple times, with him and the Department of Natural Resources, the engineers, HDR. He's got 30 days to do it, and we'd like for it not to be, right there, right after Thanksgiving, but if we delay it, you got Christmas, you got New Year's, it's. Anyways, did I miss anything on that, Bill?
Good. Thank you.
Thank you, Con.
Thanks, Kyle.
Appreciate that. Okay. We'll now move on to council concerns. This is the time that if there's an item that you need to bring to the council that's not on the agenda, please do so at this time. And we'll start with Councilman Shilen.
None.
Thank you. Councilwoman Recluse.
Not tonight, thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Stone.
I just have one item that was brought, a very small item, but that the Christmas lights look beautiful, but they don't all match.
Kind of like our shirts.
Okay.
So that was the item that was brought up, was that it sure would have been nice if we'd had all the same colored white lights or same colored lights when the bulbs were replaced.
I understand. Thank you. Councilwoman Gray.
Well, Mr. Les and I've already had our conversation about these trashy houses around town and what do we have to do to get rid of them. I don't understand why it's such a problem to get rid of something that's got a big hole in the roof it's not fit to live in. And I don't know all the legal stuff, why we can't get rid of this.
We're allowed to shut down one house a year. If we do any more than that, we have to get them checked for asbestos. And if there's asbestos there, then it has to be removed, and then we can take the house down. We've done our one so far this year. We have already had someone check another house. It cost us $1,800 just to get it checked. It does have asbestos in it, so we'll have to have that removed in order to take that house down. It could cost us in the neighborhood of $10,000 to $15,000 to take that down. It's a long, hard process. It sounds real easy, but it's not. If a good example is if you want to talk to Jeff City, they're in the same boat we're in, and they're trying, and they've got over 100 of them.
Now, you mentioned the property on Jefferson, that house on the corner that it burnt.
Yes.
You mentioned something, what's going on there?
Mr. Coleman has bought that, and he's going to make that a veterans place where there'll be 3 bedrooms, and you could have some veterans that stay there, that don't have a home, don't have some place to stay, rather than stay on the street. He was waiting for a dumpster. We do have dumpsters or roll-offs available now, so he should be getting started with that in the next week on that.
Okay, does he have a completion date in mind?
He didn't tell me if he did.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is that it, Ms. Gray?
Yes, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Councilman Moore, excuse me, Vaughn? I tried to skip you.
You probably should have. I do have a couple of things on the list. One, I received a call from one of the constituents complaining about our building permits and about how long it takes someone to build a house and put a structure up. There's supposedly construction houses that's been going on for 3 or 4 years, and still under construction. They wanted to know if our permits allowed them to do that, or we have a set time now. I did talk to Les a little bit about it. Also talked to him about another dirt problem around the Churchill, and he's already taken care of that for me. Also, I'd like to ask about an update on the house on 6th Street that we talked to, or I think Bill might have, or the mayor talked to the attorney about.
6th Street.
The one that we had the visitor on?
On East 6th Street.
Oh, Nash.
Oh, yeah.
Just talked to him yesterday. We met with the prosecutor. The first portion of the meeting was very productive and progressive, and we're getting a lot, moving down the road quite nicely. And then we proceeded to have a secondary meeting, and there's a list of requirements that the prosecutor wants us to go through in order to meet his requirements to prosecute the case. Les has begun that process. In fact, that was a phone call I got. We mailed, per the prosecutor's request, we mailed the owner and occupant certified letter. The certified letter on October 31st. The certified letter came back to the city. Les proceeded to go down to the house and post a letter on the house. The phone call I got yesterday was as a result of that we were posting a notice on the house with an October 31st date. So the process has begun.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else?
No, sir.
And there's more steps.
Councilman Moore?
No, sir, I'm gonna keep mine till the new year, make you happy.
Thank you. Councilman Shivers?
Yeah, I just have one thing. The park board met last week, and they did have a recommendation that we remove Resolution 3292 from the table and vote against the passage of it. Everybody, if you look in front of you, you have a list of the 7 reasons why they thought that was a good thing to do. They also had a recommendation that they would continue to work with the YMCA to possibly come up with solutions or ideas or something that would work for the entire community.
Okay. Very good, thank you. Anything else?
That's all I got.
Very good. That transitions right into resolutions. So,
I think it was
Councilman
kind of the
Chyland,
idea.
let's see, we'll consider Resolution 3292. I believe it was tabled last meeting. It has to do with the aforementioned memorandum of understanding with the YMCA.
I'll make a motion that we take it off the table.
Second.
Okay. Motion, okay. All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying yes.
Yes.
All those opposed, no. Okay. Councilman Chyland, would you please present Resolution 3292 for consideration?
Resolution 3292, a resolution authorizing the mayor on behalf of the city of Fulton, Missouri to enter into a memorandum of understanding with the YMCA, Callaway County, Missouri regarding a proposal for the indoor aquatic facility to to sign all necessary documentation in relation to said memorandum of understanding and establish an effective date. I move that resolution number 3292 be voted on tonight's meeting.
Second.
Very good, thank you. I have a motion and a second to vote on Resolution 3292. Is there any further discussion of the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying, hey, wait a minute, that's not going to work. Okay, so we're voting no to approve or yes to approve the resolution, because I said it was just for to vote. Okay, all those in favor of adopting 3292, please signify by saying yes.
Yes.
All those opposed, no.
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 Okay, I have one yes and the rest no's. Okay, thank you. Resolution 3292 has gone down. Okay. Resolution 3297 is a resolution authorizing mayor to enter into a contract with Callaway Chamber of Commerce. Councilman Shiverdecker, would you please present Resolution 3297 for consideration at tonight's meeting?
Yes, sir. Resolution number 3297, a resolution authorizing the mayor on behalf of the city of Fulton, Missouri, to enter into an agreement with the Callaway Chamber of Commerce of Fulton, Missouri for services to be rendered in 2018 and establishing an effective date. I make a motion that Resolution 3297 be voted at tonight's meeting.
Second.
Very good, thank you. We have a motion and a second to adopt Resolution 3297 at tonight's meeting. Is there any further questions or comments on this motion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify please by saying yes.
Yes.
All those opposed, no. Very good, there's no no's, so Resolution 3297 is adopted unanimous. We'll now move on to ordinances. Bill number 1490 is an ordinance that has to do with a memorandum of understanding with the department. Oh, no, this has to do with a bridge replacement, applying for a grant with the Department of Transportation on a bridge replacement on 2nd Street. Councilman West is not here. Councilman Reclus, would you please present Bill number 1490
Yes.
for consideration?
Yes. Bill number 1490, an ordinance authorizing the mayor on behalf of the city of Fulton, Missouri, to submit application to the Missouri Department of Transportation as a sub-recipient for the Accelerated Innovation Deployment Demonstration Aid Grant for the Route O 2nd Street Bridge Replacement. I move that Bill number 1490 be read at our next, second reading at our next meeting. I'm sorry.
Second.
No problem.
Thank you.
Thank you. I have a motion and a second to advance Bill number 1490. Any further discussion or comments on this motion? Hearing none, all those in favor of advancing 1490, please signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Yes. All those opposed, no. Very good, thank you. We'll now also consider for first reading a ordinance that allows for the entering into an agreement with MoDOT for the Business 54 improvements that was discussed earlier. Councilman Shilen, would you please present Bill number 1491 for consideration for
Bill number 1491, an ordinance authorizing the mayor on behalf of the city of Fulton, Missouri to execute a document in relation to the Business 54 roadway, sidewalk, curb, and guttering improvements project with the Missouri Department of Transportation, commenting necessary funds for the projection and establishment of effective date. I move that bill number 1491 be voted on and be second reading, next regular meeting.
Very good, thank you. I have a motion and a second to advance bill number 1491 to second reading. Any further discussion on that motion?
There was discussion by Kyle that the 800,000 may need to be increased. Do we need to increase that number at this time? Or does it matter since we're only presenting it by title only?
I'm going to say it does not need to be increased this time because it's not in the specific
It's not in the scope
bill,
of work?
bill of the ordinance.
Okay.
Still.
Very good, thank you. Good question. Any others? Hearing none, all those in favor of advancing bill number 1491, please signify by saying yes.
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 All those opposed, no. Okay, very good, thank you. We'll now consider second reading ordinances. Bill number 1486 is a bill that has to do with entering into a memorandum of understanding with the Department of Natural Resources on a native plants and pollinators pilot project. Councilman Moore, would you please present for second reading, title only, bill number 1486?
If there is no objections, I will do this for third reading at tonight's meeting too.
Fine.
Bill number 1486, an ordinance authorizing the mayor on behalf of the city of Fulton to sign all necessary documents in relation to a memorandum of understanding between the city of Fulton, Missouri and Missouri Department of Natural Resources for the implementation of a native plant and pollinators pilot project and establish an effective date. I move this for third reading at tonight's meeting by title only.
Second.
Thank you. I have a motion and a second to advance bill number 1486. Is there any further discussion of the motion?
When this was first presented, we had questions about it. Have those been resolved?
Yes.
Everything's good.
Yes. Okay. I think we're very comfortable with it. Okay. All those in favor of advancing bill number 1486 for third reading, please signify by saying yes.
Yes.
All those opposed, no. Okay, very good, thank you. Councilman Moore, would you please present bill number 1486 for third and final reading?
Bill number 1486, an ordinance authorizing the mayor on behalf of the city of Fulton to sign all necessary documents in relation to a memorandum of understanding between the city of Fulton, Missouri and Missouri Department of Natural Resources for the implementation of a native plant and pollinator pilot project, establishing an effective date. Move this for final passage at tonight's meeting.
Second.
Very good, thank you. I have a motion and second to advance bill number 1486 for final consideration. All those in favor of advancing 1486, please signify by saying yes.
Yes.
All those opposed, no. Very good. Bill number 1486 advances to final reading. You've heard bill number 1486 presented 3 times, and it's now time for final consideration. Please answer a roll call with a yes or no as your desires on this motion.
Okay, Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Ms. Reclue?
Yes.
Mr. Shiverdecker?
Yes.
Mr. Stone?
Yes.
Mr. Vaughn?
Yes.
Mr. Shyland?
Yes.
And Ms. Gray?
Yes.
7 council members affirmative, 1 absent.
Okay, very good, thank you. Bill 1486 has been approved. Bill number 1487 is an ordinance that has to do with changing our parking code. And Councilwoman Reclue, would you please present 1487 by title only?
Yes, I'd like to present the final reading tonight also.
Sure.
Bill number 1487, an ordinance amending Chapter 110, Traffic and Vehicle, Article 7, Stopping, Standing, and Parking, Division 1, generally Section 110-340, parking on certain streets prohibited or limited, Fulton City Code, by adding an additional street and establishing an effective date. I make a motion that bill number 1487 be read for final passage at this time.
Second.
Very good, thank you. I have a motion and a second to advance bill number 1487. Is there any further discussion of the motion or the
Does
ordinance?
this have to do with, like on Court Street, when UPS parks and stops there, does this have anything to do with that?
No, ma'am.
It does
It
not.
just has to
This
do
is
with the
for
parking in front of Bartlett.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion advancing Bill 1487 to final consideration, please signify by saying yes.
Yes.
All those opposed, no. It's now time, Councilwoman Recluse, if you'd please present Bill number 1487 for third reading.
Yes. Bill number 1487, an ordinance amending Chapter 110, Traffic and Vehicle, Article 7, Stopping, Standing, and Parking, Division 1, generally, Section 110-340, Parking on certain streets prohibited or limited, Fulton City Code, by adding an additional street or establishing an effective date. I make a motion to place Bill number 1487 for final passage at tonight's meeting.
Second.
Very good, thank you. I have a motion and a second to advance Bill number 1487 for final passage, or final consideration. All those in favor of advancing 1487, please signify by saying yes.
Yes.
All those opposed, no. Very good, thank you. You've heard Bill number 1487 presented 3 times, and it's now time for final consideration. Please signify your vote by yes or no as the clerk reads the roll.
Ms. Recluse?
Yes.
Mr. Shiverdecker?
Yes.
Mr. Stone?
Yes.
Mr. Vaughn?
Yes.
Mr. Shyland?
Yes.
Ms. Gray?
Yes.
And Mr. Moore?
Yes.
7 council members affirmative, 1 absent.
Very good, thank you. Bill number 1487 is passed. Bill number 1488 is a ordinance that approves regulation of tapping into our sewer and reconnection permits and establishing fees. Councilman Vaughn, would you please present 1488 by title only?
Bill number 1488, an ordinance amending Chapter 114, Utilities, Article 4, Sewers and Sewage Disposals, Division 3, Private Systems, by repealing Section 114-217, Permits, Fulton City Code, and enacting a new section in its place, adopting a sewer tapping and reconnection permit, and establish an effective date. I make a motion to place Bill 1488 for third reading at the next scheduled meeting.
Second.
Very good, thank you. I have a motion and a second to advance Bill number 1488 for third reading.
Discussion?
Any questions?
Discussion?
Just
Yes.
the one that I had last time, does he feel comfortable with that price? If he does, that's fine with me.
Kyle was gonna look into what it actually cost us to do.
Oh, okay.
Something like
Yeah, I did
that.
a little homework in this regard, and yeah, I think the direct question was how much does it actually cost us? And you know, there's a couple ways I looked at it: material, equipment, labor, material and labor, and then just material. You know, we've already got equipment, so do you charge for that equipment? We're already employing people. Do you charge for that or not? That's kind of debatable. But if you're looking at a cost, it's the sewers in the middle of the street, approximately, say, 15 foot from the middle of the street to the curb. You've got a all-in cost, material, equipment, and labor of about $900. And that includes several different things. It includes inspection, people to inspect the work that's being done. It includes the asphalt that we come back and do. It includes a tapping saddle, Y, if you will, with that cost. We would supply that to the contractor. So there's any curb work, any sidewalk work. So that's a pretty healthy price. Material plus labor, you know, and the labor cost also includes benefits in it as well, so.
Thank you.
Material plus labor, so that's 900, material plus labor, that'll reduce down to about 600. And if you go to material only, we're about 300 to 350 bucks on a residential.
What are we charging as part of this new?
As part of this new, what's proposed in here right now is $300 for a residential. And that's, when I say residential, I should qualify that. I should actually say that what's in here is a 4-inch service to a residential. If for some reason there's a 6-inch service, that price right now is double is what's proposed. So 300 and 600, almost 90% of your cases, if not more than that's going to be at the $300 value.
Okay.
I've got one other question before we finish with that. When a person is building a new house, for instance, and he's got to pay for a permit, does he dig the ditch all the way out and do the street and everything?
Yeah.
Then is he required to put that back, or do we put it back?
He's required to backfill it with rock, and we come back and put
then
the hard surface in.
We do the curbs and
Right.
whatever has to be.
And
Okay.
what this permit proposes is that we would actually supply him with the tapping Y, the tapping saddle. You know, I know that Daryl's people fight all the time when they're trying to camera sewer mains and whatnot, that you know, there's taps that are done wrong, and you can't get the camera by, and create maintenance issues and infiltration problems as well.
So,
Oh, go ahead.
so the way I take it then, the price you're charging covers, it's gonna cover
It
just
generally
the
covers the
basic
material.
cost that we have, not counting our labor. and
Yeah,
stuff.
not counting labor or
Yeah,
equipment.
that's all right. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Kyle. Appreciate the report.
No, thank you.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of advancing bill number 1488, please signify by saying yes.
Yes.
All those opposed, no. Okay, very good, thank you. Bill number 1488 advances for third reading. Councilman Vaughn, would you please present bill number 1488 by title only?
I didn't,
It's for the next meeting.
I said for the
Next.
Oh, the next
next
meeting.
meeting.
Okay, sorry, I
That's okay.
misunderstood you. Okay. Councilwoman Gray, would you please present 1489, which is an ordinance that has to do with imposing a use tax for general revenue purposes at the next election in April by title only?
Okay, can at this time request a third reading tonight as well?
Sure.
Okay, bill number 1489, an ordinance imposing a user tax for general revenue purposes at the rate of 2.5% pursuant to the authority granted by and subject to the provisions of section 144.600 through 144.761 RSMO, providing for the use tax to be repealed, reduced, or raised, and providing for submission of the proposal to the qualified voters of the city for their approval at the general election called and to be held in the city of Fulton, April the 3rd, 2018. And I make this a motion to place bill number 1489 for a third reading at tonight's meeting.
Second.
Very good. Thank you. I have a motion and a second to advance bill number 1489 to third reading. Is there any further discussion or
Yes, sir.
questions on this? Yes.
I've got a question.
Fire away.
I may need some clarification or not, but I do believe, unless I just totally misunderstood it, the surrounding communities have already voted on this in some instances. I've not seen it once that it passed anywhere. My concern is, if that's true, the way I understood it, if we raise our tax bracket, we hire anybody else around us, and it'd make a difference to me buying a new car here in town versus someplace else. 2.5% of the money.
It does not affect the sales tax that you would pay if you go into one of the stores downtown and buy something. It does not affect that at all. This is going to affect your Amazon and your eBay sales.
Internet sales.
I understand that.
And Callaway County approved this a year or two ago. So all of the county has it. And the county is collecting the use tax from citizens in Fulton and rest of the areas of the county when they make those purchases. The city of Fulton does not have it. Several towns across the state already have this.
Right. Okay.
That clarify that for you, Wayne?
I just muddied the water.
If you want to come in and talk about it, we're more than glad to.
It does not increase taxes except on internet sales, which are currently right now not being taxed.
Right.
Okay? So it's filling a void that's not being taxed at this point on sale.
But I thought, again, this is where I'm foggy. If you go to St. Louis and buy a car, that does not affect that?
No. That was the last tax. For some reason, we only did vehicles.
We already passed that one.
Yeah, and we took that to the voters, which they approved, but for some reason, we left everything, all the other internet sales on. So we're having to go back.
No matter what we do here tonight, the voters going to approve it or disapprove it.
Yes.
Right, all we're doing is voting to put it on the ballot.
It's sending it to the ballot.
That's what we're doing.
Okay? Anybody else?
And maybe our newspaper could explain this better, if he's having a difficult time with it. I mean, I'm 100% in favor of doing this, but
Right.
maybe it needs some clarification, I don't know.
We have from now to April to get it
Okay.
explained, so hopefully we can get the job done.
Okay.
Okay, very good. I have a motion to advance Bill 1489. All those in favor of advancing 1489, please signify by saying yes.
Yes.
All those opposed, no.
No.
Okay, I have one no. Okay. So Bill 1489 does advance. Councilwoman Gray, would you please present 1489 for third reading, title only?
Bill number 1489, an ordinance imposing a user's tax for general revenue purposes at the rate of 2.5% pursuant to the authority granted by and subject to the provisions of section 144.600 through 144.761 RSMO, providing for the use tax to be repealed, reduced, or raised, and providing for submission of the proposal to the qualified voters of the city for their approval at the general election called to be held in the city on April the 3rd, 2018.
Very good, thank you. I have a motion and a second to advance.
Second.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. Motion and second to advance Bill number 1489 for final consideration. All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying yes.
Yes.
All those opposed, no.
No.
Very good. One no. Bill number 1489 has been presented 3 times, and it's now time for final consideration. Please answer the roll call with yes or no as your desire to vote on for or against the measure.
Okay, Mr. Shiverdecker?
Yes.
Mr. Stone?
Yes.
Mr. Vaughn?
Yes.
Mr. Shiland?
No.
Ms. Gray?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
And Ms. Reclus?
Yes.
6 council members affirmative, 1 opposed, and 1 absent.
Very good, thank you. Bill number 1489 has been approved, and we'll present that on the April 3rd ballot. We'll now consider third reading ordinances, and Bill number 1481 is a ordinance that approves our the city's official budget for the year 2018. Councilman Shiverdecker, would you please present by title only Bill number 1489?
Yes, sir. Bill number 1481, an ordinance adopting the official budget and capital improvement program and appropriating the funds of the city for the fiscal year beginning January 1, 2018 and ending December 31st, 2018. I make a motion that we advance Bill number 1481 for final consideration at tonight's meeting.
Second.
Very good. Now you have a motion and a second to advance 1481 for final consideration. All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying yes.
Yes.
All those opposed, no.
No,
Is that a no?
no.
One no. Okay, very good.
I do have a discussion item on that, and it's just a consideration that Les bring forth opportunities during 2018 to raise additional homes in addition to the one that's allowed by the state of Missouri without the asbestos
Okay.
inspections, but we have, it's going to take us years if we only follow that one a year. And I understand it's a budget constraint for us to do more because we have to pay for the inspections and pay for the removal and then take the home down. But through 18, I would like as many of those homes brought before the administration to see if we can find the room in the budget for it.
Sure. We'll work on that and maybe we can do some corrective action in 2019. Okay, all those in favor of advancing 1481, we did that. Never mind.
Yep.
It's now time for final consideration. You've heard bill number 1481 presented 3 times, and so please indicate your desire as to approval or not as roll call is read by yes or no.
Okay, Mr. Stone?
Yes.
Mr. Vaughn?
Yes.
Mr. Shyland?
Yes.
Ms. Gray?
No,
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Ms. Reclus?
Yes.
And Mr. Shiverdecker?
Yes.
6 council members affirmative, 1 opposed, 1 absent.
Very good, thank you. Councilman Stone, would you please present 1485 for third reading, which is, has to do with speed limits on specific streets?
Yes, I'll present bill number 1485, an ordinance amending chapter 110, traffic and vehicles, section 110-248, speed limits, paragraph 3 of the code of the city of Fulton, Missouri, by lowering the speed limit on Christopher Lane, Addison Street, and East First Street to 20 miles per hour and establishing an effective date. I move that we approve this bill, this ordinance at tonight's meeting.
Second.
Very good, thank you. I have a motion and a second to advance 1485. Any comments on this? Hearing none, all those in favor of advancing 1485, please signify by saying yes.
Yes.
All those opposed, no. Very good. You've heard bill number 1485 presented 3 times, and it's now time for final vote. Please signify your vote by yes for approval, no for against, as the clerk reads the roll.
Mr. Vaughn?
Yes.
Mr. Shyland?
Yes.
Ms. Gray?
yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Ms. Reclus?
Yes.
Mr. Shiverdecker?
Yes.
And Mr. Stone?
Yes.
7 council members affirmative, 1 absent.
Okay, very good, thank you. Looks like our remaining meetings for the year are November 28th and December the 19th. I do not have a need for an executive session, and I will consider.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you.
Second.
Motion. All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying yay.
Yay.